Alright, we're going to go ahead and download Windows 8 Preview Edition and install it using Virtual PC. So the first thing you do is open up your favorite web browser, type in the search bar Windows 8 download. So here we're going to Microsoft's website to download the new version of Windows 8, the consumer preview version. So right now we're going into downloads. And then we're going to go to the ISO format because that's what we need to run it in our VirtualBox. So down here you can see we have the 32, 64-bit version. You're going to download depending on what version of the OS your host OS is. So in my case, I'm going to download the 32. So you can see that it's downloading, and then here's the product key. So as it finishes downloading, we're going to go ahead and start a virtual machine. So now you can see that it's downloaded at my desktop. So I have the ISO here, you can see. Now we're going to go ahead and start up a new virtual. So basically what we're going to do is the first step, we're going to create the environment that Windows 8 will be installed on. So we're going to go ahead and click on New. Then we're going to have the wizard to walk us through this. So we're going to hit Next. And so in my particular case, I'm just going to call it Windows 8, but it doesn't matter what you call it. Just as long as you know what you're calling it. And then just select the appropriate operating system. Since I use Windows 8, it knows that it's a Microsoft operating system, and it knows that it's version 8. Very easy if you have the latest version of VirtualBox. Alright, so we're going to hit Next. So here, your memory will vary from machine to machine depending on how much memory you have. So I have 8 gigs, so I'm going to just go ahead and do 2048, but you could do 1 gig, which is fine. The more you give it, the better it's going to run. So we're going to hit Next. Here, we're going to create a virtual disk. So here, if someone was giving us a VM of Windows 8, then we would select Use Existing. Since we are making this from scratch, nobody's given us a VM, we're going to go choose Create New. And then here, like I said, talked about previously, we're going to just go with the default, which is the VDI, which is the virtual box disk image, which is just fine because we're not planning to import this to anything else. So we're going to hit Next. We're going to use dynamic disk because we don't want to allocate 20 gigs immediately to our drive. So we're going to hit Next. And here I'm going to change it to 30. So I've got enough room, so I want to try and install some applications. I'd like to be able to have some room to do that with. So we're going to go ahead and hit Next. And then here's just giving us a summary of the environment that VirtualBox is going to create for us. We're going to say sure, go ahead, and now it's created. So now the next step, after just now all we've done is created the environment, we have to now install the OS. So we're going to right click and go to Settings. Here we're going to select a couple choices. We're going to go to our network settings. I'd like to change it from NAT to Bridge so that way my physical machine can talk to this machine and other machines on my network can talk to this device. So that's why I choose Bridge Adapter. And the next thing we want to do is go to Storage, click on the CD, and then click on the little CD here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to choose our virtual file. So just going to click Browse, and then go to my desktop. Here you can see I have the 32-bit version, and when you're selecting these, you have to select 32 and 64, and you have to use the right ISO for it. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So now we've done is we'll mount the CD. Once this fires up, it will see that there's a CD-ROM. The system will say, okay, I need to boot to this. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to click on Start. So here you can see that's firing up. And so here you can see we're doing the install portion, so we're going to go ahead and click next. We're going to go with the default settings, and then we're going to go ahead and say install now, and then this will go ahead and start the installation process. So now we have to go to our website that we went to get that key. So if you wrote it down, great. If not, you can go back to your website. You can see right here is the product key. So I'm going to move this over to the other monitor so I can see it as I type it in. Because with virtualization, some of these you may or may not be able to, copy and paste it in there. And then this key is not unique. This is the same key that you would be using yourself. Basically, Microsoft gave out only one key to do this with. So if I type this in correctly, it should work. Alright, so I would recommend that you would read all this information, and then once you read it, click accept and hit next. If you don't accept it, well, obviously you can't install it, so I guess you can't win. So here we're going to do an upgrade or a custom. I'm going to do custom so you guys can see it. So basically the custom is going to allow you to partition the drive here. Just going to go with the default settings, letting it carve up the whole 30 gigs. And now you basically are going to copy the files. Now they're going to start expanding and then installing. Alright, you can see it's just about done. Almost. It's kind of funny. So we're going to go and help it reboot. So now you don't want to press the key because you installed the operating system. That's by default. If you leave the CD in the drive, you will get that. So hopefully this guy will install and we'll be a happy camper. I'm going to go ahead and switch to full screen. And wouldn't you know it, let's go to the other screen. Alright, so now we got this thing finishing up, booting up. Trying to resize this so this fit in the screen so we can see it. You can see that they have little circles down here in the bottom. Alright. See, the second reboot is a charm. All right. So it looks like we are almost down the home stretch here. So we're going to call it PC. I'm too lazy to think of something much more clever. And put in your email address. So here you're going to have to sign up with your Microsoft account. I'm going to go ahead and pause because I'm not going to share that with everybody. So now I entered in my email address, and then it's going to ask you for your security account questions. Once you enter that, it starts creating your account, and looks like hopefully in a moment we'll have a desktop or the Metro UI, whatever comes first, I guess. And now that it's finished, here we are. We are now successfully done. And this concludes installing Windows 8 using VirtualBox. Thanks for watching. Bye.